I'm Deanna from the Pilates studio. Welcome to class today. We're going to be doing a foam roller class. If you don't have a foam roller at home, just grab a really thick bath towel or just a couple of them, roll them together to make yourself a makeshift foam roller. So let's get started. So we're actually going to start sitting today. So again, if you don't have a roller for this part, just reach your arms out in front of you. If you have a roller, you're going to reach your hands to the edges of the roller, bringing your roller chest height. And then I want you just to slightly bend your elbows. I don't want your arms to be straight. I want that little bit of a bend. And I want you to sit up nice and tall. On an inhale, I want you to think of reaching your shoulder blades just a little bit away from each other. And then exhale, squeeze into the edges of the roller just a little bit and draw them together. So inhale, reach them away. And then exhale. Oftentimes having the roller here will prevent you from trying to go too far with this. It's just a really small movement of the shoulder blades separating away from each other and then coming towards each other. And again, just try to keep that little bit of bend in the elbow if you can. Last time. And then find somewhere where your shoulder blades feel like they're resting nice and flat on your back. And then think of keeping them like that way, or keep them that way, as you inhale to reach the arms up without lifting through the shoulders. And then you exhale lower. So inhale up, exhale lower. You're not necessarily going to get that roller above your head. If it's getting above your head, make sure you're not arching your back or allowing your shoulders to lift. This is going to keep the movement a little bit more pure through your shoulder joint. And again, just trying to get used to that feeling of keeping those shoulder blades fairly flat and still on your upper back as you move through the arms. So inhaling as you reach up. Last time. And then bringing the arms all the way down just for a quick break. Bring your hands in the center of your roller or on the floor. Take a deep inhale, lengthen tall. Exhale, let the chin sink to your chest. Then start to flex forward through your upper back, nice and slow, your ribs tucked back. You're just flexing forward through that spine without reaching completely forward. You're trying to keep the weight on your sit bones. Now relax your shoulders as you're down here. And when you exhale, I want you to draw your abdominals up and start to restack your spine from the bottom all the way through. The upper back will come up and then the head should be the last thing that lifts. Take another deep breath in. Exhale, chin to the chest, the back of your neck lengthens, and then start to think of folding through that upper spine. The ribs will start to tuck in as you flex through your middle back. And again, a little bit through the lower back, but again, you're keeping the weight on those sit bones. And then exhaling to draw the abs in and restack the spine one vertebrae at a time. Now you're going to take the roller back in the hands or just reach your arms out in front. Roller's chest height, sitting up tall. Take an inhale. Exhale, twist to one side. Inhale to the middle. Exhale to the other side. So try to keep the legs still, the hips still, and focus the movement on the rib cage. So that's what's moving you think about your ribs kind of twisting around the spine, almost like a ring. The movement's coming through that mid back. A lot of people tend to use their head. They'll turn their head and they feel like they're getting really far. So just think of the movement comes from the middle of the spine. If you look towards the center of your roller, you'll tend to keep your head in a good alignment with the rest of the spine. Now we're going to do 3 rotations to one side. So inhale to get ready. Exhale, twist. Ease off slightly. Exhale, twist again. Ease off slightly. Exhale, twist again. Inhale to the middle. Exhale the other side. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. Grow taller each time you rotate. Breathing in always back to the center. Grow nice and tall every time you twist. One more round on each side. And relax it all the way down. Fantastic. And then we're going to work through some half roll back, still holding the roller or just having your arms out in front of you, pretending you have a roller. Legs are going to be bent, hip width apart. Arms are out in front, elbows are slightly bent. Sit up nice and tall. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, tuck the tailbone under, rolling just off the sit bones. Inhale, float the roller up. Exhale, bring it down. So as you're floating your roller up, Think your shoulders shouldn't be lifting, just like in the warm-up. This is our last one. As the roller comes down, it'll start to pass your face. Then I want you to think of pull your abdominals in, tuck your ribs back, flex over the legs, reach the roller towards your feet, and then restack the spine up straight. So exhale, roll, inhale up. 3 lifts, 2. Last one. Lower the roller as it passes the eyes, pull those abdominals in, flexing over the legs, restack the spine up one more time. Exhale, roll, inhale up. Last time. As you lower again, flexing forward. Perfect. And then restacking the spine up and bringing the roller between the heels and the bum and lying flat on your back. If you have the towel, you can pop the towel in the same position, okay? So we're going to actually be bringing the feet on top of the roller. The roller should be a little bit more towards your heels than the balls of your feet, and the legs are hip distance apart. Arms are at your side. Palms are facing down. Before we go anywhere, we're going to start a little bit of pelvic movement here. So on an exhale, I just want you to start to think of sinking your lower back towards the floor, feeling the abdominals engaged, and then you release it back. So really straightforward. As we work through this little bit of a pelvic tilter imprint, start to be aware of where your shoulders are. If they're rounded right up to the ceiling, you can bring your arms a little bit wider if you'd like. Or just really think of letting those shoulders rest or relax away from the ceiling. Okay, now, I always give the caveat on the next part, if your hamstrings cramp, which does happen, I'll warn you now, make sure you're squeezing through both glutes, and if it still cramps, just bring your feet onto the mat, okay? On an exhale now, you're going to tilt through that pelvis, squeeze those glutes, and peel the spine. One vertebrae at a time, all the way up. There goes my hamstrings. Oh, sorry. Take a deep breath at the top, and then exhale, roll down. Oh, my runs are killing my left leg for some reason. Like I said, if you cramp, bring your feet flat on the mat. Because the idea is to warm up through the spine and hips, not to give you guys leg cramps. Rolling through. This is our hip roll. Last time. Keeping those glutes engaged. Fantastic. Now keep the feet on the roller. Bring the hands behind your head, and you're still neutral through the pelvis. Make sure you can see your elbows in your peripheral vision. Okay, just keeps the chest a little bit open here. On an exhale, you're going to curl the head and shoulders up, looking at your thighs. Inhale down. So your hands are supporting your head and neck. Excuse me. And the movement's coming through that rib again. The rib cage is sliding towards the hips to lift you and sliding away from the hips to lower you. You're going to hold the next one up. So you've curled up. You're still neutral, so there is a very small space between the lower back and the mat. And we're going to do 10 pulses here. 10, a little higher every time. 5 more. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax it down. Take it back up again and hold it. Take a breath in, and then exhale, twist to one side, keeping those legs still, and then come back to the middle. Twist to the other side. So if you think of almost pushing a little bit into your feet as you rotate, and I would say as you twist, kind of press a little bit into that shoulder blade that's on the floor. One of the shoulder blades will lift away from the floor. The other shoulder blade is in contact with the floor. And again, trying to keep those legs nice and still. Curl up a little higher when you come to the middle this time and hold it. So curl it up. Take your hands behind your thighs. Pull yourself up a little bit higher, then take your right foot off so the right knee is bent. Bring the hands back behind the head. Lower down. Curl it up for 10. So you've got your one foot, your left foot anchored onto the mat or onto the roller. And that right knee bent, staying nice and still over your hip. 5 more. If it's too much for the back, Bring your foot back down onto the roller and keep both feet down. 3 more. Really curling up. You're still neutral. 2. Hold your next one up, bringing the right foot down. Curl yourself up a little higher. Okay, take your left knee bent over the hip, and then 10 crunches here. And again, you're trying to keep that leg nice and still. As you're curling up, your eye line's looking towards your thighs. 5 more. 3, 4, last time, 5, hold it up as you bring your foot down. Curl yourself up, grab behind your thighs again, pull yourself up a little bit higher. Okay, now you're still neutral. Keep yourself up. Do not let your head or your shoulders fall back to the mat. Take your left hand, bring it behind your head. Okay, so now it should be harder to hold yourself up. Take your right hand behind your head. It should be even harder to hold yourself up. And then release it all the way down. Straighten those legs out. Reach the arms behind and give it a good stretch. Fantastic. And then grab behind your leg and roll yourself all the way back up. And you're going to be lying on your stomach. You don't have a roller. You're just going to bring the hands behind your head, elbows down on the floor. If you have a roller, you're going to bring the roller halfway between your elbows and your wrists. Legs are shoulder width apart. Head starts lowered between the arms. And I want you to start by inhaling, shrug your shoulders up to your ears. Exhale, shrug your shoulders away from your ears. So you're just feeling the shoulder blades gliding up and down. And same thing, if your hands are on here, you're gliding the shoulders up and down. Just trying to get that little bit of movement in your shoulder blades. And then draw the shoulders down. Press the pubic bone towards the mat, and on an inhale, start to float the head and chest up. The roller will start to move, and then exhale, reach away. Same with the hands on the ground. It's that head and chest lifting up, almost like you're doing a little back bend in your mid-back, and then exhale, lower. It's not a back extension or a lower back extension, so I don't want you to come all the way back up. I want you just to think of pressing your chest towards the roller. You should be looking at the roller. It's just this little bit of a lift. Now, if you don't have a roller, just continue with the same one. If you do have your roller, you're going to lift up and hold it, and then you're going to bend and roll the roller towards you, and then extend your arms straight 3 times. So you're going to bend and extend, bend and extend. Then you're going to lower your head and chest down. So inhale up, exhale, 2, 3, release it down. So you're just working on that little bit of endurance in the back. 1, 2, 3. Last round here. And release it down. Bring yourself up onto your hands and knees. Into a tabletop position, rounding through the spine. Think of separating your shoulder blades. Feel that nice kind of widening in your upper back. And then release yourself all the way down. All right, we're going to work on some roll-ups. So these roll-ups can be done without any roller. If you have a roller, it's going to go underneath your ankles, okay? And you're going to start by lying down. Feet are flexed, arms are going to reach straight up to the ceiling, and you're neutral in your pelvis, so that little bit of a gap there. On an exhale, lift through the head and shoulders as you lower your arms, and just do a gentle pelvic tilt so that your lower back feels like it's pressing just really gently towards the floor. Keep the feet flexed, so pull the toes towards you, and then you release. This is our roll-up prep. So you curl up, very gentle imprint, press through the heels, pull the toes towards you. It's really important with the roll-up, if you can't get up without letting your feet lift away from the roller or the floor, if you try 1 or 2 times and you just can't get it, go through what we're doing right now. Rolling up with your legs lifting to the ceiling is not a great way to work through it. It's not great for your back. You will get stronger in time. the full roll up. That exhale is quite important. You take an inhale, exhale, roll up, reaching to the feet. Inhale, exhale, roll it down. All right, so as you're rolling, tucking the ribs in as you flex up, and really kind of rolling through that spine one vertebrae at a time on the way down and on the way out. You're trying to roll through. It's a roll up. So you're trying to roll through each section of your spine. Breathing out like I breathe through a pursed lip helps really engage those deep abdominals. There's a lot of exercises I can't do if I don't do that breathing. Last two. Some people feel weird doing it, but I think most people are doing this at home on their own now, so make as much noise as you want, right? Last time. Fabulous. Then bring the roller back in between the heels and the bum so that your fingertips can touch the roller. If you don't have a roller, you'll be fine. This is the hundreds. So you're going to imprint with the legs in a tabletop, knees are together. I want you to lift the head and shoulders up. Okay, so that you're either going to be in this position or this position. Okay? All right, so now bring the head and shoulders back down. So it's an exhale for 5 counts as you come up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 10. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and inhale, 2. You can add a leg extension on the way up to challenge and bend the knees back in on the way down. It's kind of like somewhere in between the tabletop position and the full leg extension, because again, this shouldn't go in your back. If it's in your back, even with your legs lifted, bring your feet down. See how that works? It's always a way. It's like a slow, painful 100. I've got 2 more rounds. 1 more round. Now, no matter what foot position you want, either tabletop or feet down, I want you to curl your head and shoulders up. Perfect. Take your hands behind your head because your neck's probably nice and tired from this. Curl yourself up a little bit higher. Exhale, tap 1 foot towards the floor. As it comes up, switch for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and bring it all the way down. Hug your knees into your chest. Oh, that's lots of abs. Lots and lots of abs. All right, so now, if you've got a big towel, you're going to bring the towel underneath your hips. If you don't, you're going to use your roller, bring it underneath, okay? So you lift your bum up, slide the roller across the back of your pelvis. It shouldn't be under your lower back. In this position here, you're going to have your arms reaching at your sides, and I want you to do a very small pelvic tilt. So just a little bit of a tilt. Legs are going to both come up in a tabletop position. They're going to be hip distance apart, so not together. We're going to do exactly what we just did, tapping the toes. So you're going to exhale, tap 1 toe towards the floor, switch. So you're trying to think of keeping that very small imprint, and your abdominals should be engaged the whole time. So working through your hips a little bit here. Now you can stick with this one, okay? Or you can do both legs straight. You're going to reach 1 leg away and 1 leg towards you. Switch. I always like to do this gentle pull towards me. Gives it a little bit of support, especially if you're tight through your hamstrings. For 8 more. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then hug the knees into your chest. Now this is probably going to seem a little silly, this one, but it's a really great stretch. Your feet are going to be straight up above your hips, so your legs are straight up. You can hold on to the roller, whatever works for you, and you're going to open the legs out to the side. So 1 leg goes one way, 1 goes the other. and then you're going to close. So you're going to exhale, open them. Inhale, close. Open. Just pretend, if you're used to the reformer, pretend your feet are in the straps. Soon come, hopefully, soon come. Then we're going to combine all these movements. So we're going to do a switch, switch, sweep. So you're going to switch, or scissor, switch, switch, sweep. So it's 1, 2, sweep, 1, 2, sweep. So you're going in the opposite direction each time. So it'll be your left leg towards your chest the first round, then it'll be the right leg towards the chest the second round. Sweep. Switch, switch, sweep. This is awesome for the hips. Keep the abdominals engaged. One more round on each side. And then bring both legs together, open them out to the side. Use your hands if you'd like to kind of help open them just a little wider. Flex your feet, press through your heels, pull the toes towards you, just to get a really nice length and stretch through there. Fantastic. Perfect. And then we're going to bring the legs back down. Lift your bum up, roll yourself out. We're going to bring ourselves all the way up into a side lying position. Caveat here, if this is too hard on your hip, just get rid of it. Okay, you can use a towel or just on the floor. We're going to see how this one goes. So you're going to be lying on your side with your elbow bent. Both legs are straight. Okay, so you've got the roller somewhere near the top of your hip where it's comfortable. And again, if it's not comfortable, just get rid of it. Okay, do make sure your elbow is under your shoulder. Your hips are stacked one on top of another, and we're going to have our feet flexed. Okay, so it means your feet are flat, they're not pointed. And then think of lifting, the side of your waist just a little bit up from the mat. So you're not like just collapsed down there, okay? And then I want you to lift your top leg up. Perfect, and then you're gonna lower it down. So up, down. Still thinking of abdominals. A lot of people get really relaxed when they do these side lying things, and they don't engage their abdominals at all, but you do want those working. Make sure that waist is lifted, it's not dropped down. Hold your leg up. Then we're gonna circle it. So you're gonna point your top foot, okay, and you're gonna circle the leg forward, up, and back. So you're drawing these nice big circles, but you're still staying nice and stable in your upper body. As in you're not moving and flexing and creating a lot of activity in your upper body. Switch directions, so back, up, and forward. Working right through those hips. Ready? 2 more like this. 1 and 2. And then bring it all the way down. You're going to turn onto your stomach with the roller at the front of your mat. If you don't have a roller, same as before, your hands are going to be on either side of your head. This time though, everyone, the legs are wide. Okay, so the feet are going to be slightly wider than the mat. Heels are dropped in, arms are reaching out. Hands should be slightly wider than your shoulders. Head will start slightly lifted, drawing the shoulder blades down. You're going to press that pubic bone gently into the floor, squeeze the glutes, squeeze the thighs. Inhale, start to float the head and chest up, coming up into your swan prep. And then exhale, reach away. It's almost like reach long through the back of the neck. Your eye line will look forward, but your head doesn't lift up. I don't want you pinching the back of the neck. I want to feel like a nice long line. It's always about length, right? You're trying to think of stretching as you lift and stretching as you lower. 2 more. The last one. Fantastic. And then just a quick shell stretch from here. So you're going to round through the spine, sit to the heels, give your back a quick stretch. And then we're going to go into our side lying leg lifts the other direction. Okay, so the roller comes Get under the hip, elbows bent under your shoulder. And again, if it's too much pressure, just get rid of the roller. Okay, so your waist is slightly lifted, your feet are flexed. You're gonna exhale, lift the leg, inhale, lower. Okay? The idea is when your leg lifts, you don't drop at the waist. Because that's the tendency, right? It'll be like your spine will go from a nice straight position. A lot of this happens, right? And you want to really try to focus on keeping that spine as straight as you can as you work through your hip. And then we're going to go into our circles. So lift the leg up, point the foot, and then circle the leg forward, up, and back with as much stillness in your upper body as you can. Try not to sink down. Remember, don't sink into your shoulder. Think of lifting out through the shoulder. Switch the direction. Up and forward. You have tight hips. This is a really nice way to roll through them. I've tried to focus a little bit on hip mobility today. Last one here. Fantastic. And then release it down. Nice and straightforward on this one. Coming off the roller, sitting cross-legged with the roller on the right-hand side. If you don't have a roller, just put your hand on the floor. Okay? Take your left leg, swing it behind you. If that is not available to you, just sit cross-legged or up on a chair. And I want you just to sit really tall. You take an inhale, lift the left arm up. You're going to exhale, start to bend through the waist. And then think of reaching away, but don't lift that left bum away from the floor. Restack the spine up. Right arm lifts, bend. So the idea with this one right now is not to let your butt cheeks lift away from the floor. There might already naturally just be like an inch or two away, that's fine. But don't let them lift any further away. I'm going to show you what not to do. I don't want this, okay? Because you're not really bending through your spine that way. And that's the idea, is that we're trying to bend laterally or side bend through your spine. And get all those muscles stretching out. One more time. When you come up, swap sides. So rollers on the left. Right leg is swung behind. If it's not available to you, just sitting cross-legged. And again, sitting up nice and tall. Take an inhale, right arm comes up. Exhale, bend, roll away. Restack, and bend. So again, on this side, don't let that right butt cheek lift any further away as you go through your bend. This is our mermaid. It's one of my favorites. It's a nice way to work through a little bit of a stretch, a little bit of mobility in your hips. We're going to do one more round. Perfect. Okay. Now we are going to end the class lying on the roller. You're not done, we're not relaxing yet, but we are going to be lying on the roller. If you don't have a roller, you can lie on your beach towel. If it doesn't work, get rid of it. You can still do all the exercises without the roller. Okay, so when you're lying on the roller, make sure the back of your head is completely supported. Okay, the rollers are long enough for everybody. Legs are going to start hip distance apart. I want you to have your arms out to your side. Palms can face the floor. Okay, starting with an imprint. So you're going to pelvic tilt so the low back feels like it's flattening towards the roller, but don't jam it into the roller, okay? Just that little bit of a flattening feeling, and abdominals strong. Lift one knee up. So it's bent over your hip. Fantastic. Now get ready for the instability as you lift the left leg up. That's what the arms are for. They're out to your sides, palms down for some stability. Now you want to get your knees right above your hips, okay? Still imprinted. Think of the back of your rib cage. I know this is what I'm talking about. Back of the rib cage, pressing into the roller. So your abdominals should be on fire or at least contracted. And then you're going to exhale, tap one foot to the floor. Inhale, bring it up. And then the other one. So this is our toe tapping. We've done it earlier in the class in different positions. This one definitely challenges your stability. If you find this kind of easy, bring your arms closer to your body. And you're going to feel all of a sudden, woo, you're kind of wobbling side to side. The idea would be using your abdominals as much as you can. I don't want your arms doing all the work and your shoulders, you know, tensing up and your chest tensing up. I want it to be mostly abdominal work. The hands are there for just a little stability. Now bring the feet down just for a quick little rest, so we've got kind of the idea of how it feels. And then we're going to do scissor legs. Okay, so our bicycle legs. If they're a little too much for you, just go back to what we just did. So you're imprinting, legs are in the tabletop. You're going to reach one leg out straight, the other knee bends in like a single leg stretch, switch. A lot of times people will bring their straight leg really low, and you don't necessarily need to do that. A lot of times people think it's going to give their abs better workout, but it often just strains your lower back. So think of sending the legs high, maybe 45 degrees, but focus on the abdominal squeeze as the legs go out. It should not be in the lower back. If it is, try your legs a little higher. Like, I'm pressing my legs up nice and high right now. I'm getting loads of ab work. Even though it might not seem like I am, I definitely am. Okay. One more on each side. Fantastic. And then release the legs down. Bring that pelvis back to a neutral position so you feel like there's just a little space there. And we're actually going to reach our arms straight up to the ceiling, palms facing in. I want you to reach your fingertips down towards the ceiling. Feel your shoulder blades separate away from each other in the roller. And then I want you to exhale, let those shoulder blades sink down and almost wrap or squeeze the roller. Inhale, reach away. Exhale. So your hands stay the same distance apart. Very similar to the warm-up where we worked through the shoulder blades apart and together. Now find somewhere where you feel like shoulder blades are resting flat. Now think of the back of your rib cage pressing just a little bit into the roller. Abdominals are squeezing, and then I want you to scissor your arms. So one arm goes back, one arm goes forward or towards your hip, and then switch. So you're working through a little bit of shoulder mobility without arching your back. So your abdominals have to work to help prevent your ribs popping up to the ceiling and your back arching. And we're going to do a little pinwheel now. So you're going to reach the arms back, behind. So let's do the right arm behind, left arm at your hip. Then circle your right arm out to the side, the left arm out to the side. So now the left arm is above your head, the right arm is at your hip. And then go back. So the right arm is behind, left by the hip, circle. Circle. Just to avoid confusion, we're going to do a bunch of reps on one side and then circle the other way. Because I confuse easily. Keep it simple sometimes. Switch directions. So left arm behind, right arm to your hip, circle them out. This should feel awesome on your shoulders and your chest. I hope it does anyway. 2 more. Get us all warmed up for our swimming. Hope we're all going to be swimming in the sea in the next 2 days or so. All right, so now we're going to slide off the roller nice and ladylike. Okay, and then roll yourself all the way back up. Perfect. And the very last stretch we're going to do, you're going to take that roller, hands are on top, and again, you can do this with your hands just on the floor. Hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips, back is tall. Think of reaching out through the shoulders, keeping that head lifted. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, tuck your tailbone under, round through the spine into your cat stretch. Take an inhale. And then exhale, start to uncurl your tailbone first. Then think of the middle of your spine straightening out. Then the chest and the head lifting last. So exhale, tuck, round the spine. Let the head lower, nice and controlled. Breathe in. Exhale, uncurl the tailbone. Lengthen out the spine. Let the chest and head lift. Last time, deep breath. Tuck the tailbone and pelvis under. Then round the spine, tuck the ribs up, allowing the head and chest to lower. Deep breath. Exhale, uncurl. Lengthen out the spine. Lift the head. Then I want you to sit onto the heels and then press the roller forward, letting your chest lower to the floor and getting the best stretch possible through that kind of that chest and shoulder area. When you're down here, I want you to breathe nice and deep into the side on almost the back of your rib cage. So feel the ribs expanding out and back on your inhale, and then down and in on your exhale. And then staying in this position, but adjusting through the legs and hips. So the feet are going to be together. The knees are going to be wide. Perfect. And if the roller's too much, get rid of it, like I said earlier. And then press it forward, lowering the chest. So I'm trying to get a little stretch through the hips. So if you're not feeling that, bring the knees wider. If you want to get rid of the roller, if it gets tiring sometimes, you can walk your hands forward to get yourself lower to the mat. It's really up to you. And then a couple more, again, really nice deep breaths in. And when you're ready in your own time, roll yourself all the way back up. And you're done. That was great. I hope you guys enjoyed that class today. A lot of hip mobility and shoulder mobility, and of course abdominals thrown in there as well. Yeah, so if you do like this class, or you did like this class, don't forget to like us on Facebook or follow us on our YouTube channel. Thanks a lot, and I'll see you next time.